Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for tuning in, we really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff as we close on into 1,000 subscribers. That would really be appreciated. I find myself thinking that's a lot of people. So yeah, if you haven't already, please do. But yeah, otherwise we'll get into the main sort of topic for today's video, so let's get into it. So this is what we're going to be talking about today, microworms. So I don't know how this camera's going to pick it up. Oh yeah, there you can see them. Gross, eh? So that's little microworms. So microworms is a great little live food culture that we use. I use it here in the shop. Not a ton, but I keep them around and use them every now and then for a few bits and pieces. And it's a really easy one that you can culture and add to your own aquariums as a source of food for your fish. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set up a new culture and kind of show you how that works. And we'll also, once we do that, we'll go around, find some fish, and I can show you them feeding on it so that you can get an idea of how that whole thing works. So first off, what do we need? So first off, I got a container here. This is just like a takeaway container from, Chinese food, Indian food, whatever. It's just a takeaway container. You can use whatever. You can use like a lunchbox, even just like old yogurt cups, whatever. I just had this lying around, so that's the one. It'll need a lid. That's the lid. Don't know what that writing says. It's half rubbed off, but yeah, doesn't matter. So we need the container here. We need this yeast. This is the dried active yeast. I can show you there. I think people use it for like baking and stuff. And then we've got some rolled oats. And we'll also need some water just from the tap. So first step is we get the rolled oats and we just tip some into the container. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop. And then flick it around with my finger a little bit so that it's like we kind of want it just covering the bottom like of the container. So like that, I guess. That's not really easy to tell. But yeah, then we'll have that and then we'll put that in here and we want to add the water. So you want to be careful not to make it too wet. If it goes too wet, it'll be real stinky, which is not obviously good. And you want to kind of coat them all in the water. It'll kind of make a bit of a sludgy porridge type thing, which is what we want. That's probably about right. That might actually be a little bit much. Tip it out. So yeah, it will go to like this, but obviously that's not instant. Now I've got all these blimmin' oats all on my fingers. What's going on here? There we go. Oh, idiot. So then we crack open this yeast with one hand like an absolute pro. And then I just sprinkle a little bit on the top. Don't need tons, like that'll do. Chuck the lid back on. And then we need to basically start our culture. So I did actually end up putting a little bit more water in it. Just it didn't quite look mushy enough. But what we'll do is basically just take a big scoop of our finger along here and get all the, I don't know if we can really see it. There they are, like all these little microworms. Just rub it on the corner there. You don't actually need a lot to start the culture, but just wipe the corner there. And that'll be enough there to start it. And then we'll just leave that for a while, like a few days, and it will be cranking. As you can see, this stuff here is already going like that. So yeah, that's basically how we start another culture. You will need to change over the culture every couple of weeks, just because they kind of go stinky and gross and go off, essentially. So you want to do that before they go off. But yeah, I'll do that maybe once every week or two. And yeah, it'll basically just keep cranking, and you can kind of culture as much as you want. You can set up like 50 of the things and like sell them and everything like that. Like it's a good little seller for you. It's a very easy one as well, so that's another good thing. Just top it up with a bit more yeast every now and then if you want, for food, but yeah, it's not a big stress really. So we'll chuck a little bit in. That's a little bit going in there. Man, it's quite hard to see it, isn't it? Oh, there you can kind of see it. So yeah, basically while we watch them feed, I'll just give you a bit of an overview. So The microworms are these tiny little worms that you'd feed to any kind of little fish, so like a fry, or like, as you can see, the white clouds and guppies will eat it, or you can feed it to any other kind of littler fish. They'll just kind of pick away at it, and so it's a really good option for, especially if you're raising fry of like anything really. It's quite popular because it's quite a low maintenance culture to look after, but it really is, it is good to get small food into the fish. So here's some more here. We'll give it to these guppies here. Just all this little microworm. And yeah, it really, that's why I think it's so popular. It is a really easy one to feed, and as you can see, like, the fish are just going absolutely nuts for it. It's like Christmas has come early, like, what more could you want? Here we go, we'll do another little bit in there. But yeah, you can see them, so you can kind of get a gauge of the size of them compared to the other fish. But yeah, they're super tiny. So yeah, one of the reasons I think they're so good is because it's just like fun. Like, it's people get really into like culturing their live foods and that, which I think is really awesome. Like, it's one of those things, like, everyone can dive down different alleys in the hobby, and doing it with live food, like a microworm, is as good as anything else. The only difference is it is just like also good for the fish. So basically, what more could you want? So yeah, that's basically all I had for today's video. I'll come back in a couple days, and that culture we just set up will be absolutely cranking. Like, you won't be able to see the actual oats. The whole surface will be moving. The only sort of, I guess, drawbacks or things to be wary of when doing microworms is it can be quite stinky. So like, I wouldn't do it like in your living room or something, for example. You know, if you got a fish room or like an outside shed or something like that, that'll be a good place to do it. It's just kind of, I think it's just the yeast that causes the, I don't know how to explain, but it gets this kind of like yeasty, like nasally smell, which can be quite gross. But yeah, and then just like use your finger to harvest it, or you can use, people use like cotton buds and stuff, but I just use my finger, it'll be fine. And yeah, I mean, any kind of little fish will eat it really, so like any dwarf cichlids, live bearers, tetras, barbs, fry of any kind of fish really. Shell dwellers really love it. But yeah, basically just feed it to anything, and you've got this everlasting, like, very, very cheap. You might use like, I don't know what we just use, like maybe a couple, maybe like 50 cents worth of oats and like 10 cents worth of, what's that stuff called? Yeast, and that'll last forever basically. And you can kind of just keep replenishing it. Again, they're also a good one that maybe if you're wanting to make a little bit of money to support your hobby, you know, you can put together these cultures in these little containers, maybe print off a little instruction sheet on, you know, what to do, how to look after them, and like, you might want to sell them on Trade Me, on Facebook, on at your local club meeting, whatever marketplace for exchange you've got in your country. It might be a good little one to kind of keep it all ticking along and support your hobby. So I think that's a really fantastic example. But yeah, I mean, live food in general is a good time. So I do quite like microworms, and the fish seem to quite like them. So that's the main thing. But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's basically all I had. So thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. But otherwise, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.